Press OK.
Hello, y'all. Welcome to Cosmopolitans with Lauren on Armed Radio. How is everybody doing? I'm so excited because, I've been interviewing a lot of new guests, and I have an old guest, and she is a Southern gal right from my hometown, Birmingham, Alabama, and she has her own show called Kitchen Chat, which I love. She's been on our show before, and we got a tons of responses. Is one reason I called her back. But this is Margaret McSweeney. Can you say hey, Laura? Hey, Margaret.
Hi, Lauren. Thank you so much. It's great to reconnect.
I know. All right, great. So I'm not going to do the bio on you, but tell us a little about Kitchen Chat, and then I'll hit you up with my detailed questions.
Oh, thank you. Well, Kitchen Chat, can you believe it? Started in 2010. I was one of the first food podcasters. And the reason I started it, Lauren, was a tangible way through grief. I had lost my dad. It'll be 35 years ago this year. He was on a business trip in Paris, had a massive heart attack at the Charles de Gaulle airport. He was with a business colleague, and what happened is the last place they went to before the airport was Notre Dame. And my
Love
dad,
Notre Dame.
yes, and my dad was always teaching me lessons through his actions. He lit a candle and said aloud to the colleague, I'm lighting this candle as a way, as an act of forgiveness for someone who had wronged him in a business
Mhm.
deal, betrayed and wronged him in a big business deal. And then he said aloud a prayer there at Notre Dame after lighting the candle to bless this person who had wronged him and this person's family. And it's very emotional, even all these years later. And I was
I know.
just,
I'm like,
yeah,
that is that's
yeah,
spiritually okay. That's what
yeah.
we all need to do. People bless their people that want us.
Exactly.
But
Forgiveness.
also,
It's the
yeah,
best
forgiveness is the key
lesson
to everything.
ever. Yes. And it was so meaningful. I just got back from Paris where they have renewed Notre Dame. They renovated it, and I lit a candle there just a few weeks ago.
Um,
But he was a big foodie. He started a gourmet club in Birmingham way back in the goodness 70s, and before
wow.
all of this was happening, the interest in food, and had traveled the world and had such a great global palate. And I I guess my biggest regret in life was not going in the kitchen with him to learn how to cook. He was always trying to get me to go in there, but it wasn't my joy. So after he died, and it's always important to find a tangible handle to get through the grief, I decided to honor him by starting a podcast in my kitchen, calling it Kitchen Chat, interviewing chefs, cookbook authors, people in the industry, so I could understand my father's joy. And through the process, it has brought such joy, Lauren. It's just been
Because
such a
I didn't know that half the times that we talked, I had no clue because I actually have in here where you're just laying in because I know that you started Kitchen Chat before everybody has a kitchen show. I mean, they're on TikTok, they're on everything, but you had like one of the original kitchen shows. And I was going to ask you, like, that wasn't what was going on. Were you just laying in bed and all of a sudden you woke up and was like, I think I'm going to do a podcast? I mean, a thingy because back
yeah.
then it would have been really a strain to figure out what to do because we didn't have it.
Exactly. It was. I just felt it in my heart. I needed to do this, and the doors opened. And that's another thing. I know you're always reaching out to your viewers and audience and cheering them on. I, it's never too late or too early. There's no age or stage limitations to pursuing your joy, your purpose, and your passion in
Mhm.
life. And
Mhm.
it was such a healing journey, and it has continued. It has opened a whole new industry for me, which I
I know
absolutely love.
because
And
I see you everywhere. You've become the it girl
oh, I
of
don't know about
kitchen.
that.
But really, I mean, but okay, I'm gonna start with my questions and then we'll
Sure.
build to that part. So I did have the first thing was how did you get the idea for Kitchen Chat, which you just shared with us? All right,
Yeah.
how did you I would not know how to do that back then. How did you start it? I mean, like, what'd you do? Did you call somebody? Did you Google? What'd you do?
And I don't even think we had Google back then. I can't remember, but
Mhm.
I just basically had a headset and I plugged it into my computer. There was this station, I forget, in Texas or something, and through a friend, they had found me, and there was this group of other women who they were putting together for shows. And I would call in and then they would post it somewhere. So that's how it began. And I would just have people who had some kind of connection to food on and kind of found my path. And then I was with that Texas station for like a year and then launched full steam ahead on Kitchen Chef. But of course, I call it my unexpected lump in the road happened in 2012, and that was breast cancer. So navigating
I
through
didn't
that.
know that.
Yeah,
I'm so sorry,
it's
Margaret. I had
okay.
no clue.
It's okay.
I'm so
Everything's good.
sorry.
It's
Okay, you're
okay.
fine, right? Okay. Oh,
I'm
I'm sorry.
celebrating 13 years. 13
Okay.
years, yes. So it's all good. All
I'm
good.
sure you're inspiration to other women.
Oh,
Well,
thanks.
being that you said your dad was a foodie, were you a
Yes.
foodie at that time?
Oh,
No.
not at all. I mean, I enjoyed what he cooked. And
Uh-huh.
oh, every Saturday morning he would make eggs Benedict with homemade hollandaise sauce, poached the eggs and create the hollandaise sauce and put it on the English muffin. And
I bet
and
his
I
wife, I bet your mama loved
Oh,
him.
oh yes. And and I loved my mama, goodness. But she did not like to cook, and that's great. She had so many other strengths. And my dad, this was just his love language and
Hmm.
cooking. And so yes. So
That's
whenever
my
he
fiance's
traveled,
love language. This is the whole
oh,
family's love language, oh, which is
oh.
not helping the waistline. Um, so then you decided to break off from this place in Texas because I'm
Mhm.
sure there's a lot of people that are like, start a food show. So you break off, and then what? You just start doing something on YouTube, or you just
Multimedia. So it's YouTube, and I was I guess, one of the first video
first ones?
podcasts out there too.
It was really
And
hard to find your first video. I will tell you that.
and then I started going through Web Talk Radio, which I still distribute the podcast through, and then also just growing my own, and then all of these podcast opportunities come up, Spotify,
Mhm.
everything, and then. Goodness, podcasts really became popular during COVID. People
Mhm.
were finding them. So it's just been a joyful process, and I want to encourage people, if you have something you want to share and say that's on your heart, consider podcast.
Mhm.
It's easy to do. You can do it.
It's easy to do. Okay. Have so I already asked, have you ever enjoyed eating? Let me ask you a question because
Yes.
I am engaged to a foodie and
Uh-huh.
a family foodie. They're from Spain and Italy, and
Ooh.
they everything like we're eating breakfast, and they're like, "What do we have for dinner?" I can't
Yes.
stand that.
Yes.
I raised my kids by myself, and like
Mm.
I went over to the Western. We got some green beans, macaroni and cheese, some sushi, and that's it. So,
Yes.
how do you? So, are you the main cook now because you've developed the show? Are you the one? Your husband's like, okay, baby, I'm working. You have a food show, cook.
Oh, well, I'm embarrassed to say that I I still don't have the complete joy of cooking. I have a great appreciation of it, and I have found my joy through food and sharing people's stories about food. And yes, I have expanded the meal plan a little bit, but at this age and stage too, we do dine out some, the empty
Mm-hmm.
nest for many years, and but yes, I did try. because my afternoon tea travels in London recently inspired
Oh,
me to
good.
kind of
I wish
think
I had
outside of
gone
the
with you.
box.
I'd
Oh
love.
my goodness, you were there in spirit.
Oh
You
my
were
God,
there
I
in
love
spirit.
England. Okay, I do all the research on that. Okay, go ahead. I'm sorry, I interrupted. Go ahead.
No, no, this is great. It's a
Okay.
conversation.
Mhm.
So, actually, you know what inspired me? Because I love an afternoon tea, and I want to bring the joy of afternoon tea from England to the US because it is something everyone should experience. You can find, some places around the country. I don't think Birmingham has
Mm-mm.
any
I
venues for
know
this.
Mobile does. I know Mobile.
Ah,
Like when I went on my honeymoon, I can remember going to Mobile and we had afternoon tea. And then
oh, great.
I think at the ritzy places they offer it. I think um, it would not be held up in Cape May because we wear shorts, t-shirts, and no makeup, people.
Oh, and
Um,
that's okay. And the
but
whole
I do love.
Mhm.
I do. I personally do the things up. The 4 o'clock is kind of my deal. If I'm going to have a
Yes.
deal, it's going to be some tea and not
Yes.
crumpets, but a tea and whatever I have. But it's at 4 o'clock because I love that you got to
Absolutely.
take a settlement the hard day and you
Yes.
still have a full night ahead and you need that hour
You
to
do.
reconfigurate.
You do. And really that's the reason I am such an advocate of afternoon tea. Sure, it's such a step back in time. And even though there's a lot of modern twist out there too, but it's a way to invite people to the table, to take a moment, because my motto in life is savor the day. And it's time to gather around the table, put the phones down, have a cup of tea and these beautiful little finger sandwiches and a scone, as they call it, a scone or a
And
scone.
that do you think that that's gotten big in the South? Because I know before I left to come to New York, I know that I had girls over like around 4 or whatever. Okay, it wasn't tea ladies, but it was a tati. But I had finger sandwiches and little scones and
Yes.
stuff for them.
Yes, and it's a great celebration, and it's a
Mhm.
beautiful way to bring people together, to celebrate friendships, to celebrate community, and to celebrate food and trying new experiences within food and just savoring, it's about the quality of time with friends and family. And it doesn't have to be fancy. You can just do, I would recommend no crust, but you could even get a cookie cutter if you want, and you can do it with kids, and get the bread and have different designs for it, and even as easy as cucumber and cream cheese, and that's lovely.
It's beautiful. So, if you were gonna invite me over for your four
Yes.
o'clock tati, what would you serve me?
Oh my goodness. I actually have an afternoon tea room now.
Hmm.
There's a space, and you don't need a
Uh-huh.
big space. You can just have a small space. And I have a little tea trolley and a kettle, an electric kettle where I can heat up the
Hmm.
water, and an assortment of my British tea, which I love.
I
I
love my British
love.
teas. Hmm.
And it was so special. Last year I went to Highgrove. That's where King Charles
I
his
know where it's at.
private
I
home
know
is.
everything about England. I know everything. I have a master's,
Yes.
remember? I know everything.
Yes.
I
So
love Highgrove.
Highgrove, and you can go have afternoon tea in the garden there. And I did with my friend, my roommate. Oh, from grad school. We've known each other 41 years. And so she's my travel tea companion because I don't think my husband wants to
Yeah.
go to all these tea parties. But I love their tea there. So I bought several canisters, and you could actually order online. I gave them as Christmas gifts as well. They're great gifts.
What were your
But
favorite teas?
oh, well, I love the black teas. I
I
really
was actually
do.
you gotta say the black tea is my favorite. You said it.
Yes.
I love the black
Yes.
tea.
Yes. I love that. You've got the Darjeeling, and
Mhm.
the Earl Grey, and the breakfast tea. I just
Mhm.
love that. But there's so many options today. And don't limit yourself, get an assortment, have a tea tasting. We would have a tea tasting for you to come
Hmm.
over to my Chicago suburban home, to my tea room. We would have a tea tasting with herbal tea. And I love, of course, the standby is always those delicious biscuits,
Oh yeah,
that you
yeah,
can
yeah, yeah.
have, the
Hmm.
shortbread. So that's an easy thing, and just have conversations. It's just helping set the stage for conversations. And there's nothing more comforting and wonderful than just a cup of tea.
What about your daughters? I know, like you wrote a book about your daughters, correct?
Yes. Well, I've
And
written.
I have that here.
Aw.
And do your daughters? Well, first of all, tell us about your book before I so everybody can go out and
Oh,
buy
and
it.
this is well out of print. This was A Mother's Heart Knows. I think that was my first book, and
Hmm.
and just I'd written a poem, and they turned it into a book about mother's heart knows when your child's
Hmm.
all right, and just what their needs are, and it's yeah. So I wrote that when they were little, but
You were
it's
little.
a special
Right.
remembrance.
But
But
do they
they
partake in your? Do they partake, or are they like my daughter and said, "Oh my God, mom"? Do they partake in the tea? I
Well,
would just write my
when
friends and be so excited. My mom was doing that.
when they were little, I would have afternoon tea with them. Little did I realize I was setting the stage for what my true joy was in
Hmm.
afternoon tea. And I would even host big afternoon tea parties to celebrate books and everything. This was before I went into the food side of things, but they did enjoy it a little bit. As they got older, not so much, but now I think they have an appreciation. And I have a granddaughter now, and she had her
Do
first
oh,
afternoon tea.
congratulations!
Thank you. But it's special. And I think, I just returned, as I said, from England and France, and I did 16 afternoon teas in 16 days. And
Wow,
it
with the same
was
person or with
well,
with the same person and the same teas? Which one was
oh,
it?
no, different teas, different
Okay.
venues. And my friend
Hmm.
May came with me to most of the venues, but also meeting friends that live in England, and new friends. And it was just wonderful. And just to
So
mhm.
people, when y'all all want to go have drinks at 4 o'clock in wine tasting, this is a better option. I'm not.
Yes.
I used to do Cosmopolitans and we would do like drinks and whatever. And since my accident, I'm like, okay, let's have some Coke and some
Oh,
water. So that's a
oh.
good option to have.
It is. It is. And they always serve some champagne if you do want the little bubbly alongside. That's known as the royal tea.
The good royals. Oh, really?
Yes, yes, if you have
Interesting.
champagne with it. And there is a martini place I have to recommend in London.
Oh God, there it goes. There it goes. My fiance and his sister. There we go.
And that's Duke's Bar. And the most delicious, and I'm not a big martini drinker whatsoever, but I tried because a friend of mine, he's a wonderful pastry chef. I took a cooking class there, but he recommended I go to Duke's Bar and try Paul Feig's gin martini. He has his own martini called, I think it's Arting Selling. I'll give you the name of it. I can't remember it, but he's the one who did Bridesmaids. He's a big director, producer,
Oh,
and
okay.
has a wonderful gin brand now. And so I went there and they freeze the glasses, which was so interesting. And it was just lovely. So
Hmm.
that was my only martini for the trip.
Oh, no,
But
I don't know. I probably had more. All right, tell me your favorite recipe.
oh, my favorite recipe.
There's
That's
your favorite recipe, and then there's your go-to recipe.
That is hard to say. And all those southern, pecan pies, I can see that, and the go-to. I feel like it's like whatever is fresh. What is a fresh ingredient? So for example, I was inspired to start making different kind of sandwiches after my delicious savory sandwiches at the afternoon tea. So there was sourdough bread. I'm like, okay, that's less calories, all of that. I'll get some
Hmm.
sourdough bread. And there was this beautiful heirloom tomato. It looked like a gem. It really did. Just beautiful, the green and the red inside. And I brought that home. And you know what I did? I sliced the beautiful tomato, sliced or toasted a piece of sourdough, avocado, scooped some avocado on it. And the mandolin, I did the red onion. So it's just
Hmm.
very thinly on top. Put some of that pink Himalayan salt on it and sprinkled some olive oil. And
Hmm.
it was a delicious bite of summer. So it can be the simplest of ingredients
Hmm.
to make your dish. You know, whatever is fresh, whatever inspires you. Yeah, and then
Do you have a garden? Like I have a garden. I hate cooking, but yeah, I have a garden. Do you have a garden?
I have tried. I don't have a green thumb, but once again, I love food and I love flowers. And I don't know if you knew about this, but I'm hosting a
That's,
show called Gorgeous Gardens now
I was going to ask you about that, but I said that's not there yet. Okay, gorgeous
yeah,
garden. Tell us
on
about that.
my yeah, on my destination.tv. And there's this beautiful, and I call it hugs from heaven, because there's no other way to explain this journey that I've had through
Hmm.
Kitchen Chat and honoring my father.
Hmm.
So what I didn't share with you is the reason why my father was in Paris with his business colleague. He was looking at what he was going to do after retirement. He was a college president, and he was very interested in doing production work for television. And so the purpose of going to Paris and London was to meet with big producers. So he had actually met with the French government, and then he was going to be meeting with BBC, and they were going to be meeting about a world garden show. And
That's too.
yeah, and he
Yeah.
didn't get a chance to complete that. So it has just been such an honor to work with Lisa Renee Ramirez. She's 16 Emmy Award winning producer, director, executive producer, director. Um, and so just the way we had met through, because Taste Awards had won, or Kitchen Chat had won a Taste Award, and she was at the Taste Awards. And we ended up filming. I mean, it's just amazing. And she had no idea that my father never got to complete his garden show. So I feel
Hmm.
like God was just
I know. I feel
so
like your
amazing
dad's
in
up in
that.
heaven going, ooh, ooh, I paved the path for this. She's living vicariously through my dreams, right?
Oh,
Isn't that
yeah.
wonderful?
They're hugs from heaven without a doubt. And when I lit that candle inside Notre Dame, it was just such a blessing. I wept, of course, but it was just like I have finished a very important chapter in my life with
Hmm.
that.
All right.
Yes.
So the big question is in having a show like that, like,
Yes.
are you invited to the potluck dinner and they're expecting you to cook everything? Like, that
No.
would be a deal. Oh, let's call
No.
Margaret. She can make everything for us.
No, and I think I'm always very forthright and transparent with
Hmm.
people. I love food, but I am not the best cook. I mean, I will contribute in some way, but I am not
Hmm.
a gourmet home chef. But I can share with you tips from these amazing chefs who have come on, and even barbecue people um, who are on the show, and how you can have great tips at home for
Barbecue.
that too.
Barbecue. Yeah, it's really weird because I live in the northern, well, there's Spanish and Italian. And like this morning I cooked scrapple. I don't know what scrapple is. Never heard of scrapple. Don't know what it is. I do bacon. I don't know what scrapple is. It is amazing the difference in the northern food and the southern food.
Ah,
Like I like so
yes.
much salt, so much bacon, so much of this, just even the iron skillets, just this, that, and the other compared to what they do. And every
Right.
meal is so heavy here. Like,
Yes.
pasta, we have to have pasta, potato, meat, salmon, and then like when my father-in-law was very sick, he was like, I made something like cabbage and sausage for him. And he was like, well, where is the carbohydrates? And I'm like, dear God, there's like everything you need right there. Yeah,
Exactly.
so it's like, and like I said, I don't enjoy cooking. I know that's just sad. I do enjoy cooking when I'm maybe depressed or something, like
Yeah.
like home easy casserole dishes and that, this, that, and the other. I enjoy doing that, but here it's like they love food. I mean, they love food,
Yes.
and it
Yes.
takes them 4 hours to cook a dinner. I don't. First of all, my feet can't keep up with that. My back can't keep up with that. And what's going to happen? You take 3 or 4 bites and I'm done.
Yeah.
And then that's the thing here. They're like, oh, so what am I going to have tomorrow? I don't know. Like, there's a bowl full of stuff in there. Can't we have that in the next week? No, no, same thing. So it is amazing the difference to me between,
Yes.
I guess when you went to England, the difference between even the South and the North cooking phases that they
Yes.
do. And
Absolutely. But how wonderful that you have a fiance who loves to cook for you. That's amazing.
yeah, and then I hear about his knees. So I'm like, yeah, I would just like to go grab some sushi
Yes.
at the grocery store or rotisserie, and it's just not that way. It's so expensive, and other than having to go get all these little ingredients, but I mean, some
Oh,
people love to cook. Like, he's
yes.
someone that can take a bite of something and taste everything in it.
Yes. Yes.
It's like
Exactly.
I don't taste anything. I taste salt and pepper and the thing. But there are those people that can,
Yes.
taste everything in a meal, and then they're
Right.
so particular about what they're drinking with the meal. Like the
Mm,
wine has to be
right.
co-executive. And have you made
Exactly.
that jump? Do you do that jump? Seems like you would do like a wine thing. That's probably my next thing that I would guide you
Yes.
toward, because
Oh.
recipes, I mean, like everybody has their wine that they have to do with their food.
Indeed, the whole wine pairings. And no, I am not a sommelier, but
Well, we
I,
have the reason I say that is we have 1,000 grape farms in Cape May. I mean, like a
yes.
thousand wineries, and I love
Wow.
watching the grapes grow in the beginning. They're green and then they're red, and then tasting them later on. I'm not saying that they're world class, but that would seem like it would be an easy transition for you with
And
your
I've
stuff.
brought, absolutely. And I had two recent interviews actually at two different vineyards in uh, California. So
Mhm.
that was really that
What
was
part was it? Where did I go?
Mendocino. Yeah, in
Okay,
Mendocino
I went,
County.
I
And it
went
was
somewhere for that.
just lovely, just family owned, and it was just a lovely experience. But yes, I love wine, I love tea. But once again, what the important thing about it is food and wine should not intimidate anyone. It should be a gathering where you're celebrating and yes, food is there and a centerpiece and everything, but the real stars, the real celebration are the people gathered at the table.
Mhm.
And that's so important to remember. And I think that's one of the biggest lessons I've learned through this journey. It's about the community. It is about the connecting with others through food. And yes,
Mhm.
enjoy the food, appreciate the time and love that has gone into preparing the meal, but above all, appreciate those you're with.
Now, with you saying that, I'm sitting here looking like there's so like what we talked about before we came on air is there's so many food shows.
Yeah.
Even on TikTok, that's all my fiance watches are those TikTok
Yeah.
recipes and stuff like that. And they're gross. You're like poor marshmallows, graham crackers, tons of sugar. They're whoa. Um, but how do you because your show is unique. It was one of the
Mhm.
first, and it seems that you've been able to, you know, boomerang it into different venues. So, how
Yes.
do you get for for those that are listening? I'm not trying to create
Sure.
competitors for you, but
No.
for those that are listening and they want and they're serious about what they're doing, how do
Yes.
you reach out and get, like you said, these all these different interviews and stuff?
My dad taught me. Just ask. The worst thing that someone can say is no, and you thank them and move on to the next one. So that's the simplest answer. But also, there is room for everyone at the table. So I don't
Mhm,
see other food shows as competitors or anything like that. We're all in our own lane and on our own learning path. So we just have to appreciate everyone who is at the table and celebrate everyone. And
mhm,
that's what I try to do. But I think just have the courage to ask if something is in your heart, like I wanted to start a podcast and I need to have guests. And I would just reach out. I would email to different people, email
mhm,
to different PR companies, different, just different people. I think they appreciate the reach out,
mhm,
but don't be afraid. I mean, maybe they're too busy in their schedule or whatever, but it's okay. You've planted the seed, and you
mhm.
never know when that door will open. So I guess for those who are out there really trying to grow or start or launch something, don't be afraid to ask. Be clear in what you're asking. I mean, what do you want to learn? What joy, what purpose, what message do you want to share with others? And it's okay if it changes because mine continues to evolve. I'm including afternoon tea. I'm also putting a whole thing now with a taste of luxury, history, and hospitality.
Yes, that's what I couldn't
And
remember. You told me that as I was walking out of the grocery store, and I was like, "Damn, I don't have my book with
oh,
me."
that's okay.
Yes.
That's
So
okay.
what is that again?
So, it's a taste of luxury, history, and hospitality, a special series, and it's mainly focusing on my travels. So,
Mhm.
it was so special, especially to have afternoon tea at Baccarat Hotel. Oh my goodness, in New York. And Chef Ashfur Bijou is one of the nicest chefs you'll ever meet. And they just celebrated 10 years of being in New York City, and it's sparkling crystal, baccarat. It's
It's
amazing. They have
beautiful.
the crystal everywhere. Even for the afternoon tea, a three-tiered cake plate. It is
Mhm.
gorgeous, breathtaking. All the goblets, everything. And so I share my experiences, interview the chef, just share what the highlights are, and just giving people a taste of luxury history and hospitality and also traveling last year to Scotland. That was so much
Oh, I
fun.
can't even. Don't even tell me that. That's my dream vacation, Scotland.
Oh, yes, it's
Mhm,
beautiful there. I wanted to visit a country, something in the country, something in the city, something
mhm.
on a lake, and then something on a golf course. So the Edinburgh is just so lovely, a crown jewel, and I
It
became
has the most
friends.
interesting history. I love the
Yes.
history because I'm a history buff,
Yes.
so I'm not a food buff on and all that stuff, but I can imagine the food.
Yes.
Now, doing this, are you invited to do these tours? Or are you doing them on your own?
Mainly on my own. Mainly on
Okay,
my
and then
own.
you set up meetings.
Yes, yes, while I'm
Okay.
there. So it is just a journey, but I am thinking maybe next year I do have an opportunity for the Royal Ascot in the Royal Enclosure. So I'm just putting that out there if anyone might be interested in that. So just
I'm
putting it out
interested in
there.
that.
Okay.
I know everything about the royal family. I know. The owner of the radio station goes, "You need to do a a minute thing every day." And I was like, "I can't because everybody keeps telling me to stay away from political things."
Hmm.
And when you're in bed, like I said with my brain injury, I was in bed for 2 years. That's
Oh.
all I listened to. It was just I listened to politics, I listened to history, I listened to it, and so I want to be involved now. And everybody's like, "You need to keep it frou-frou like you did before." But we're not having cosmopolitan drinks, y'all, because it's usually in the morning. Um,
Right.
so let me ask you: do you look for sponsors for your shows? Or and the reason I'm asking this is
Yeah.
that there's so many food shows and there's so many people launching. I don't grasp it. Okay, I've been married a couple of times. I can remember my ex-husband that was, I don't even remember, I've blocked it out of my mind.
Oh,
Maybe, you know, 14 years ago, sitting there watching food shows on the Food
mm,
Channel constantly.
yes.
And so I just, you're so successful. I don't understand. I can't see how you would compete. And it seems like what you're doing is you're evolving every time. I mean, you've
Every time.
evolved.
Yes. Yeah. So that's why when someone starts something, you're not always going to be in that same lane. There can be different iterations. So be open to what where it leads next. And I am so grateful because I do get invitations. So like the Mendocino Coast one, I was invited to go to the wineries and the hotels. I did a whole
You should
focus.
come to, I'm inviting you to Cape May because we have a ton of wineries.
Oh,
I'll send you some
fun.
pictures of them. I
That
mean, the
would be
most beautiful
great.
places.
Yes, yes. So
So,
it's a mhm.
I know I'm stretching this and I've interrupted a lot because
No.
I get so into my guests. I'm like, oh, explain this to me. Um, oh, did I ask you if you got your sponsors or you said you did it on your own? Okay, you
Yes.
said you did it on your own.
Yeah.
Um, and your latest venture is this
Yes.
thing, and you decided to put it into a series. Are you going to write a book
Yes.
around that? Do you think?
We'll see. We'll see what's next. I definitely am thinking about that, and I'm sharing it multimedia with blog posts, with videos, with audio, photos, social media. So just having the whole multimedia approach to the travels, doing a lot of reels. So
Do you have like a PR company to do all this with you? Are you
no,
well, I
I
did see when I was researching you last night, I did see that you were president of Chase Bank in New York. And so that's somebody that is extremely smart.
oh,
So I
thanks,
can
Betsy.
imagine that you can do most of this on your own. But do you have anybody that is like pushing you or say, I'll take care of this? Or are you just doing everything
Oh,
by
no,
yourself?
I do all the editing. So any video that is taken, I actually do the story of it, do the editing before it airs any place. And then I do have the distribution team with Web Talk Radio. They'll put the intro, outro, and get it off every place. And then I do have a wonderful person who helps me with social media, and then a wonderful person who helps with some of the other production work and everything. But mainly it's on my own, spending hours from my heart, you know, to really share the story and encourage people to travel, encourage people to savor the day, and just taste the world and get a taste of luxury, history, and hospitality. But so much you can do at home. You know, be inspired by what is out there in the world with travel and different taste. And you can try cooking at home if you're, you know, you don't have to be a great cook. Just try something different.
New and different. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's weird because like I'll make a casserole. Like because like I said, they buy so much food and starts going bad. So I throw everything in a casserole and my fiance's sister said, I love when Lauren cooks because she just cleans out the refrigerator and
Oh,
turns it into a casserole. Yeah, because that's what we do in the South. If somebody
yes.
dies, we take a casserole. Somebody's born,
Yes.
we take a casserole.
Oh,
Somebody
yes.
graduates with honors, we take a casserole.
Yes, indeed.
And big thing, a wedding present, we give you a casserole dish. So, that's the big
Absolutely.
thing. But anyway, is there anything that you left that I haven't covered that you want to tell me about?
Oh. You have just covered everything, and I'm so honored to be on the show. Thank you,
I'm honored that you're
Lauren.
on the show. And
Oh,
I'm gonna put your link up. I was gonna do it this morning, but I didn't have a chance. So because we had to do the hair and the face and
oh, you
everything,
look
because I would have scared
gorgeous.
y'all. But I'm gonna put the link up and put everything up like that. And I'm so excited. I really do hope you write a book about that. But I'm gonna send you some pictures of Cape May and see if you might
Yes.
love to come visit because do you know it's the first resort town of the United States. It's got
Wow.
the oldest hotel where President Lincoln and Tom, all these presidents and came, and the town burned down at one point, and
Mm.
so when they rebuilt it they all did Victorian houses, so it looks like a Victorian town. Everything is, it almost like a Jaws, the Jaws, the
Yes.
little town. It's like that. It's like a little town like that, and I love it. I
Oh,
didn't think I would. I thought I would want to go back to New York, but um with my slow speech with my brain injury I thought, oh, I'll just stay here.
oh, you are an
But
inspiration.
you're
You
so
are an
sweet.
inspiration.
Well, I'm so fortunate to have friends like you, and I'm going to place your link up. And I really hope that you write a book towards this. And I might be inspired to have tea this afternoon because I have to go to the gym.
Good.
So yes, and try one of your recipes. Are you going to put a recipe book?
I could ask some of my chef friends to provide a
Mhm.
few recipes. So,
Even if it's just like tea time and
that's
recipes for
true.
tea time, because we see it, but we don't know, we've not experienced. Some of us haven't experienced it. So it
Right.
would be, I would love for that to be like a cute look. I'm always thinking that'd be a cute coffee table book, wouldn't it? I'm
Oh,
working on a book right now. It's a coffee table book.
good.
That'd be a cute coffee table book. Just FYI,
Okay.
throw that out there for
All
you.
right. Well, thank you. I appreciate that.
All right. I love you so much. Thank you so much for sharing your time with Cosmopolitans with Lauren on Armed Radio. And I don't know if you know, we have like 10 different sites that it goes up on. I will send you the site so you will have this to go through. And I really appreciate you coming. I really,
Oh,
really, really appreciate it.
thank
And
you
I
so much.
and I am not savvy on this, so you have to bear with me because I know I have to. Whoops! I know I have to share. So this is the one part we get. Share. Okay, there we go. Okay, so I appreciate everything, and I
Oh,
will send your link out, and you send me any questions or where to put it, and I will send you everything. Okay.
oh, thank you so much, sweet friend.
Thank
God
you.
bless
You have a
you.
great day. Okay.
Thanks, you
Love
too.
ya. Okay. Bye bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye. Okay. Now, Edie, end record. I'm sorry. I'm so slow at this. Okay.